The night was cold and silent. The wind moved slowly across the empty farm fields. Ethan walked back to his house after checking the animals. His boots made soft sounds on the ground. He was tired. It had been a long day. Then, he heard it. A strange sound, not like wind, not like any animal he knew. It was soft, almost like a cry, a small cry. Ethan stopped walking. He listened carefully. The sound came from behind the old wooden shed near the edge of his farm. That shed had broken walls and a roof that leaked. No one went near it anymore. The cry came again, weak, shaking, almost scared. Ethan slowly stepped closer. His heart beat faster. He was not sure why, but something inside him felt nervous. He pushed the old shed door open with his boot. The hinges made a loud creak. Inside the shed, moonlight came through the holes in the roof. Dust floated in the air, broken tools lay on the floor. And in the corner, something moved. Ethan's eyes widened. It was small, about the size of a human child. But it was not human, not at all. Its skin was pale and soft, glowing faint blue like moonlight. It had thin arms and large black eyes that reflected the light. A thin silver cloth wrapped around its body like torn fabric. It looked weak, hurt, and afraid. The creature stared at Ethan. It did not move. Ethan's mouth went dry. His hands shook. He had seen animals, wild creatures, even strange things in the forest, but never anything like this. "Hello?" he said softly. The creature made a small sound, almost like a whisper. It tried to stand but fell down. A small trail of glowing blue blood touched the floor. Ethan stepped back in shock. Then, he saw something else. A strange metal object was broken outside the shed, half buried in the dirt, smoking slowly. It looked like part of a small ship. The ground was burned black around it. Ethan slowly understood. This creature had fallen from the sky. The creature looked at him again. This time it spoke, only one word. Its voice was thin, like wind moving through glass. Home. Lost. Ethan felt something inside his chest. The word was small, broken, but full of pain. He could see tears, real tears, sliding from her black eyes. She's just a child, Ethan thought. He stepped closer slowly, showing his empty hands. The creature watched him carefully. She didn't move away. "Are you hungry?" he asked. "I can help." She tilted her head, confused. Ethan picked up an old blanket from the floor. He wrapped it around her gently. Her skin felt warm, almost like touching soft sunlight. She closed her eyes for a moment. She seemed to trust him. Then, in the distance, something flashed in the sky. Far away, over the forest, 3 lights moved fast and silent. They were not planes. They moved too quickly, changing direction like fish in water. Ethan froze. Were they looking for her? The lights faded into the clouds. Ethan looked back at the small creature. She was shaking from cold and fear. He could hear her breathing fast. He knew he couldn't leave her here. "All right," he whispered. "Come with me." He carried her in his arms. She was light, like holding a bundle of feathers. Her eyes stayed open, watching everything carefully. He walked quickly across the dark field, past the silent barns, to his house. The wind grew stronger behind him, pushing at his back, almost like warning him. Inside the house, it was warm and safe. Ethan placed her on the soft couch near the fireplace. He gave her water. She sniffed it, then drank slowly. He opened a can of fruit. She ate with tiny, careful bites like she had never seen food before. Blue light moved gently under her skin with every swallow. After eating, she curled up on the couch. She wrapped the blanket around herself and closed her eyes. Yes. A soft glow filled the room like night stars. Ethan sat across from her, still shocked. So many questions filled his mind. Where did she come from? Who was looking for her? Was she dangerous, or was she just lost? He looked at the small, glowing figure sleeping on his couch. She looked peaceful now, almost like an ordinary child. Outside, the night grew darker. The forest stood silent, but somewhere out there, something moved between the trees. A tall shadow stood still, watching the house. Its eyes flashed white for 1 second, then it disappeared. Ethan did not see it. He only whispered to himself, "I'll keep you safe, just for tonight." He didn't know it yet, but this night would change his life forever. Morning sunlight touched the windows when Ethan woke up. He was on the chair near the couch. His back hurt and his eyes felt heavy. Then he remembered. He looked at the couch. The small glowing child was still there. She was curled under the old blanket, soft blue light moving across her skin like slow waves. Her big black eyes were closed. She breathed quietly, almost soundless, like a dream. For a long moment, Ethan just stared. The room felt strange, like a dream that had walked into real life. "Was last night real?" he whispered. As if answering, the child's eyes opened. She blinked at him. Her eyes reflected the morning light like dark mirrors. She sat up slowly, head tilted like a curious bird. Ethan smiled, even if he was nervous. "Good morning, little one." She copied his voice softly. "Ing." It was not perfect, but it made Ethan laugh quietly. She was trying. "Okay," he said. "Let's get you cleaned up." Ethan filled a small tub with warm water. The child watched with wide eyes. She touched the water like it was magic. When she stepped in, her skin glowed brighter, like soft moonlight underwater. Ethan gently cleaned the dirt from her arms and legs. Her skin was smooth like glass, warm to the touch. The glowing blue marks on her side had almost stopped bleeding. "You're healing fast," Ethan said. He didn't answer, but she smiled. Her first real smile. It was small, strange, and beautiful. When she was clean, Ethan found an old soft t-shirt and cut it small with scissors. It fit her like a tiny dress. She looked at herself in the mirror with wonder, turning slowly, touching the fabric with thin fingers. "Clothes," Ethan said. "Clothes," she repeated carefully. Her voice was clearer now. He nodded proudly. "Yes, clothes." The days slowly passed, and Ethan learned more about her. He gave her a name, Luma, because her body glowed softly like light. She seemed to like it. Every time he said Luma, her eyes sparkled. Luma learned words quickly. She spoke slowly, breaking words into pieces, but she understood fast. She could repeat full sentences after only hearing them once. Her mind was sharp, faster than any child Ethan had known. She loved music. When Ethan played soft guitar notes, she hummed along, and tiny lights danced across her skin in time with the sound. It was beautiful. She also loved the sky. Every night she stood outside and stared at the stars for hours without moving. Sometimes she whispered in her own strange language, soft sounds like wind and bells. Ethan watched her from the porch. He wondered what she was saying. Was she calling to her people? Was someone out there listening? But Luma could not go outside during the day. Ethan knew the world would not understand her. People feared what they did not know. They would take her away, study her, maybe hurt her. So, he built a secret life. He cleared the old barn behind the house. He fixed the walls, patched the roof, and added thick curtains to block sunlight. Inside, he made a small room with books, pillows, toys, and lights. This became Luma's safe place. During the day, she stayed inside the barn. Ethan taught her letters, words, and human things. How to read, how to draw, how to laugh. She learned fast. She drew strange shapes that glowed faintly, like maps of stars. At night, when everyone was asleep, Ethan let her run in the fields under the moon. She moved fast and silent, almost flying across the grass. Her laughter was like tiny bells in the wind. But sometimes, Ethan saw shadows in the forest. Once, while feeding the cows, he saw a flash of silver between the trees. Another night, the radio made a high, sharp sound, and all the lights in the house flickered. Luma also felt it. Her glow became stronger when the strange things happened. She looked worried, like she could sense something coming closer. "Are they looking for you?" Ethan asked her one night. She was quiet for a long time. Then she whispered, "Yes." Her voice was soft, but her eyes were sad. Ethan put a hand on her shoulder. "I'll keep you safe, I promise." She nodded slowly. A single blue tear rolled down her cheek. It disappeared before it hit the ground. One day, a neighbor came to visit. His name was Mr. Carter, an old man who loved gossip. He knocked on Ethan's door. "Evening," Carter said. "Heard strange sounds near your barn. Thought maybe coyotes." Ethan smiled carefully. "Just fixing some machines. Old motors make noise." Carter looked at the barn. "Strange lights too, like fireflies." Ethan's heart jumped. "Yeah, fireflies. Must be a lot this year." Carter squinted, then nodded slowly. "All right, take care." When he left, Ethan ran to the barn. Luma was floating 3 feet above the floor, glowing like a small blue star, spinning in slow circles. "Down, Luma," Ethan whispered. She landed gently. "I was happy," she said. "I know," he said, "but you must hide." She lowered her eyes. "Hide." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He stood at the window watching the forest. He knew Carter would tell others. Soon, more eyes would turn this way. He looked at Luma sleeping in the barn, wrapped in her glowing blanket. She was not just strange anymore. She was family, and he would do anything to protect her secret. The sky was bright blue the next morning. Birds sang on the fence, but Ethan's mind was heavy. He sat at the table staring at his cold coffee. He had not slept much. Every sound from outside made him jump. Every shadow on the ground made him look twice. It had been almost 1 year since the night he found Luma. She was bigger now, taller, stronger, and faster. She could speak clear English in her soft, bell-like voice. She could even laugh like a human child, but she was not human. And people were starting to notice. That afternoon, Luma danced around the barn, light glowing across her arms like tiny stars. Ethan watched from the corner, smiling even though worry lived behind his eyes. "Be careful," he said softly. "No one must see you." "I know," Luma said. She twirled again, her feet not even touching the floor. For 1 second, she floated, weightless. Ethan's smile faded. "Luma, down." She dropped gently to the ground and stood still, head low. "Sorry." Before Ethan could answer, a sudden knock came at the door of the barn. Knock, knock, knock. Ethan froze. His heart jumped. He whispered, "Hide, now." Luma darted behind the curtains like a flash of blue light. The glow around her faded until she looked almost invisible in the shadows. Ethan opened the door a little. It was Mr. Carter again, the neighbor. His old brown hat sat low on his head, and his eyes were sharp with curiosity. "Afternoon," Carter said. "Strange noise coming from here last night, like music. And lights, too. Blue lights." Ethan forced a laugh. "Old generator. Sparks sometimes." Carter peered past him into the barn. "Sparks don't dance in the air, Ethan." Ethan stood in the doorway, blocking the view. "Maybe fireflies. This place is full of them." Carter narrowed his eyes. "Fireflies in winter?" Ethan's smile stayed on his face, but his hands were sweating. "Guess they like me," Carter stared for a long moment, then gave a slow nod. "Just keep things safe. People talk." "I will," Ethan said quickly. "Good day, Carter." The old man left, walking slowly back. Through the snow. Ethan closed the door fast and locked it. Luma stepped out from the curtain shadows, eyes wide. "He saw me?" "Maybe," Ethan said, voice low. "We have to be more careful." That night, Ethan noticed something new. A small black car sat far down the road, half hidden behind trees. Its headlights were off. No one came out. No one knocked. It just sat there for hours. When Ethan looked again, it was gone. He didn't tell Luma. He didn't want her to be afraid. But she already knew something was wrong. "Eyes are watching," she whispered while staring at the forest. "I feel them." The next week, Ethan drove into town for supplies. People were talking quietly in the small store. He heard parts of their words. "Blue light near his farm." "Carter says something's living in that barn." "Maybe a wild animal, or something else." Ethan paid for the food quickly and left. His hands were shaking as he held the steering wheel. The world was getting closer, too close. That night, Luma sat at the barn window watching the stars. She looked older now, almost like a young teenager. Her black eyes held deep sadness. "Do you miss them?" Ethan asked softly. "My people?" she said. "Yes." She thought for a long time. "Sometimes. I miss the sky, but not alone. Here, I am not alone." Ethan smiled sadly. "You're not." She turned to him and said, "Will they come for me?" Ethan didn't know what to say. He only said, "If they do, I'll protect you." Luma looked back at the stars. Her glow dimmed to a soft silver. She said nothing more. 2 nights later, something strange happened. Luma was drawing glowing star shapes on the wooden floor when all the lights in the house flickered off. The air felt heavy, like before a storm. Then the radio turned on by itself. A high, sharp sound filled the air, almost like metal screaming. Luma covered her ears. The sound stopped suddenly, and the lights came back. Ethan looked out the window and saw it, a black drone flying low over the barn. It had no lights, no markings, silent as a shadow. Luma whispered, "They are close now." The next day, Ethan made a choice. He packed boxes, tools, and food. He bought an old truck from a man in town, paying in cash. He told people he was going to move to the mountains for quiet living. That night, he told Luma, "We have to leave soon, before they find us." She looked scared. Leave home? This was never safe, Ethan said. We need somewhere far, somewhere no one will look. She was quiet for a moment, then she nodded. Together? Ethan smiled and touched her shoulder. Always together. But as they loaded the boxes, Ethan felt eyes from the forest again. A tall shape stood far away between the trees, still and silent. Its eyes flashed white for 1 second, and then it was gone. Ethan knew they were running out of time. Luma stood next to him, glowing faint blue in the dark. Her small voice broke the silence. They are coming. Ethan started the truck engine. Then we go before they do. And as the old truck rolled down the empty dirt road under the stars, the quiet farm behind them felt like a closing door. They were leaving their home and heading into a world that was finally noticing them. Snow fell softly outside the small wooden cabin. The world was silent except for the crackle of fire inside. Ethan sat on the floor, fixing a broken lantern. Luma sat by the window, her black eyes following the falling snow. She had grown taller in the past year. Her hair was soft silver now, glowing faintly under the moonlight. She looked almost human, but not quite. They had moved far away from the farm, deep into the mountain forest. No neighbors, no roads, no curious eyes. It was peaceful, but peace never lasts. That night, something hanged in the air. Ethan felt it first, an invisible pressure, like the whole world had stopped breathing. The fire in the fireplace flickered low. The dog outside began to howl. Luma stood up slowly. Her glow became brighter. Her face turned pale silver. They are here, she whispered. Ethan dropped the lantern. Who? My people, she said. Her voice was soft but shaking. Ethan rushed to the window. At first, he saw only the dark forest. Then, above the trees, light appeared. A huge silver shape moved silently through the clouds. It was smooth like flowing water, glowing white and blue. It did not make any sound. Snow fell around it, swirling in circles like it was dancing. A ship, a real alien ship. It hovered above the cabin, blocking the moon. Ethan's heart pounded like thunder. Luma, stay behind me. The ship lowered slowly, silent and graceful. Snow melted under its glow. Then, from its center, a beam of soft light touched the ground. The snow hissed and turned to mist. Something stepped out of the light. She was tall, twice Ethan's height, and shining like polished crystal. Her skin was smooth and silver, glowing softly like Luma's. Her eyes were black pools full of stars. She wore flowing white threads that moved like they were alive. Light followed her feet with every step. Luma gasped. Her glow flashed bright blue. Her voice trembled. Mother. The tall alien woman froze. Her eyes widened. For a long second, time stood still. Then she moved forward quickly, dropping to her knees, arms open. Luma, she said in a clear, ringing voice. My child. Luma ran into her arms. Blue and silver light exploded around them like a living star. The cabin walls shook. Snow outside rose into the air like feathers. Ethan stood frozen. His heart felt heavy and strange. He had raised Luma. He had protected her, taught her, loved her. She was his daughter. But now, her real mother was here. The alien mother held Luma close. Her voice cracked like glass breaking. I searched across the dark seas. I thought you were gone. I was lost, Luma whispered. He found me. The mother looked at Ethan for the first time. Her eyes glowed like galaxies. You are the human, she said, the one who kept her alive. Yes, Ethan said quietly. His voice felt small. She tilted her head, studying him like a strange creature. Why? She is not yours. She needed someone, Ethan said, so I stayed. For a moment the mother said nothing. Then her face softened like melting ice. You gave her warmth, she said, while my world gave her silence. Ethan lowered his eyes. Will you take her away now? Luma turned quickly. No. The word shook the air. Her glow flared bright blue. I want both. My sky and my home here. Her mother touched her face gently. Your place is with your people. My heart is here too, Luma whispered. Ethan felt his chest tighten. He wanted her to be happy, even if it meant letting her go, but every part of him screamed not to lose her. She has a life here, Ethan said. Friends, a home, me. She is not human, the mother said calmly. She will never belong here. She belongs where she is loved, Ethan said. His voice was shaking, but strong. The alien mother stared at him for a long time. Snow drifted through the open cabin door. The fire burned low. Then she stood slowly, her silver light dimmed to soft moon glow. "I will not take her tonight," she said. "She may choose. I will stay and see this world that holds her heart." Luma's face lit up with joy. She hugged both of them, her light glowing like sunrise. Ethan let out a long breath he didn't know he was holding. That night, the alien mother stayed inside the cabin. She sat near the fire, silent and still as stone. She watched everything, the books on the shelf, the wood walls, the tiny clock ticking. Luma showed her drawings, music, the small glowing crystals she collected from the mountain streams, the mother list, hinted quietly. Sometimes her eyes softened, like starlight fading through clouds. Ethan sat by the window, staring into the dark forest. Somewhere out there, the world was still searching for them, humans, machines, secrets. But tonight, inside the small, warm cabin, two worlds sat under one roof, and tomorrow, Luma would have to decide where she truly belonged. Morning came slowly to the mountains. Cold mist curled through the trees, wrapping the small cabin in white. Inside, the fire was only glowing embers. Ethan stood at the window, staring at the silent forest. He had not slept. He could not. Behind him, Luma slept curled in her blanket on the floor. Her silver hair spilled across her face, glowing faint blue. Beside her, the alien mother sat perfectly still, like a tall silver statue, eyes open, never blinking. She had not slept at all. When Luma woke, she sat up quickly. Her black eyes searched the room, then softened when she saw both of them. "Good morning," she said softly. Ethan smiled, tired. "Morning, star." The alien mother spoke with her clear, ringing voice. "Today, we speak about your path." Luma's smile faded. After breakfast, they went outside. Mist floated around their feet. The forest was silent, like it was listening. The mother stood tall, silver light shining from her skin. "You are of the Shinar people," she said. "Your blood carries the stars. Our home waits for you." "I know," Luma whispered. "You do not belong on this world," her mother continued. "Here, you will always be watched, hunted, alone." "I am not alone," Luma said quickly. "He is with me." She pointed at Ethan. His hands tightened around the coffee cup. The mother's eyes softened, but her voice stayed firm. "He is not your kind. One day, he will die. You will not. You will remain and watch the world turn to dust." Luma's eyes filled with tears. "I don't care. He is my family." Ethan wanted to speak but stayed silent. His chest felt heavy, like rocks pressing down on his heart. The mother lifted her hand, a beam of white light shot in. To the sky. The clouds opened, and the huge silver ship lowered silently above the trees. Its glow painted the forest in ghostly colors. "Come with me," she said. "Come home." Luma stepped back. "I have a home here too." "Not forever," the mother replied. "This world will fear you. They already do." Ethan finally spoke. His voice was quiet but steady. "She's more than fear. She brings light. She brings joy." The mother turned her black galaxy eyes on him. "Would you let her burn to protect your joy?" Ethan's hands shook. "I would let her choose." Luma stood between them. Her glow flickered like a candle in wind. "I don't want to lose either of you," she said. "You cannot walk two skies," her mother said. "I will try," Luma whispered. She ran suddenly, fast as light, into the forest. Mist swirled behind her. "Luma!" Ethan called, running after her. They found her at the cliff above the valley. She stood on the edge, wind blowing her silver hair. Far below, rivers cut through black stone like bright veins. "I am made of two worlds," she said as they approached. "Half of stars, half of earth." Her mother stepped closer. "There is no half. You are Shinar." Ethan stepped beside her. "And she is my daughter." The mother's face softened. "She is torn." "Yes," Ethan said, "but she is strong." Luma looked at them both. Tears glowed on her cheeks like blue crystals. "I want the stars," she said, "and I want this world. I want to fly and come back." The mother closed her eyes. For the first time, her tall, shining body seemed small. "Our kind does not stay in one place." "Then I will be the first," Luma whispered. Silence filled the cliff. The cold wind howled. Then the mother slowly knelt down. Her glowing hands touched the stone. "Then I will try to understand your world," she said. "I will stay, for a while." Luma gasped. "Truly?" The mother nodded. Chedfo, I will walk this earth beside you. I will see what you love. Luma ran into her arms, glowing like sunrise. The mother held her close. For the first time, she smiled, soft, quiet, real. Ethan stood back, tears in his eyes. A strange warmth spread through his chest, painful and beautiful at the same time. That night, the silver ship rose high and vanished into the clouds, leaving only the mother behind. She stood outside the cabin, looking at the stars as if they were calling her name. Luma sat between them on the steps, head on Ethan's shoulder, glowing softly. I will teach you about my world, the mother said. And I will teach you about mine, Luma replied. Ethan smiled. And I will make pancakes. Luma laughed. The mother tilted her head, confused. Cakes? You'll see, Ethan said. Inside the cabin, 3 shadows moved in the firelight. A human, a lost star child, and a mother who crossed the galaxies. Luma had chosen, for now. She would walk both worlds. She would belong to both. But none of them saw the tiny black drone hovering far away between the trees, its red light blinking once, then fading into the night. Snow had melted. Spring winds moved gently through the tall pines. The cabin stood quiet on the side of the mountain, sunlight glowing on its roof. Inside, laughter filled the air. Luma sat on the wooden floor, building small glowing shapes from silver dust. They floated in the air, spinning like tiny stars. The alien mother sat nearby, calm as a stone, eyes following Luma's work. Ethan leaned in the doorway, smiling. For a moment, everything felt normal, like a family. Then the radio clicked. A sharp static sound cut through the room. Ethan frowned and walked to the table. He had not used the old radio in months. The static grew louder. A voice broke through the noise, flat, cold, official. Unit 3 reporting visual contact, possible extraterrestrial signatures, location locked. Ethan froze, his heart turned to ice. The mother slowly stood, silver light rising from her scar. They have found us, she said. Luma's glowing shapes fell to the floor and vanished like dust. Humans? Yes, the mother said quietly. Hunters. Ethan grabbed his binoculars and ran outside. Wind whipped across the ridge. Down in the valley, black shapes moved through the trees, trucks with covered wheels, dark tents, long metal antennas rising into the sky. Soldiers dressed in gray stepped silently through the forest, their helmets shining. A strange humming sound filled the air. High above, 3 dark drones circled in slow loops, their red lights blinking. Ethan's mouth went dry. Government, he whispered. The mother stepped out beside him, glowing like moonlight on steel. They are here for me. They don't care who, Ethan said. They'll take Luma too. Luma came to the door, eyes wide with fear. What do we do? Ethan's mind raced. We hide, now. They moved fast. Ethan packed food, clothes, maps. The mother used her glowing hands to draw strange white lines on the walls. The lines spread like living roots. What is that? Ethan asked. Veil light, she said. It will blind their machines for a short time. Luma held Ethan's hand tight. I don't want to leave. I know, he said, but we have to. But it was already too late. The ground began to shake with distant thunder, engines, vehicles getting closer. Suddenly, bright white lights exploded through the trees. Drones dropped from the sky like black hawks. A deep voice boomed from a speaker. Unknown entities, stay where you are. Do not move. Luma screamed. The mother pulled her close and wrapped her in silver light. Go, she told Ethan. Take her. I will stop them. No, Ethan said. We stay together. The mother's black eyes burned like fire. Then we fight together. The first drone shot a net of glowing blue wires toward the cabin. It hit the wall and burned away instantly. When it touched the mother's light shield, the mother raised her arms. A wave of silver energy shot from her body like a storm. The air shook. Trees bent like grass in the wind. All 3 drones spun wildly, their lights flickering, and crashed into the forest. Ethan stared in shock. Remind me never to make you angry. This is only the beginning, she said. Dark figures rushed from the trees, soldiers in gray armor holding strange black rifles. They moved in silence like shadows. Ethan grabbed Luma's hand. Come on. They ran through the back door into the forest. Branches whipped past. Snow crunched under their boots. Behind them, light exploded as the mother's shield collided with the soldiers' weapons. Silver and blue flashes lit up the trees like lightning. Luma ran fast, feet barely touching the ground. "She's alone," she cried. "She's stronger than all of them," Ethan said, gasping. "Just keep running." They reached the old river cave, a hidden place Ethan had found months ago. Cold water roared through the rocks. They ducked inside, dripping with sweat and fear. Then, silence. Only water and wind. Luma's eyes glowed faint in the dark. "Will she be okay?" Ethan pulled her close. "She will come." Minutes passed, then the ground shook again. A white light appeared at the cave mouth. Ethan grabbed a rock, ready to fight. The mother stepped through the mist, glowing brighter than ever. Her silver threads were torn. Smoke rose from her arms, but her eyes were calm. "They will not return tonight," she said. "Their machines are broken." Ethan stared. "You beat them?" "They feared me," she said simply. "Fear keeps them away. For now." Luma ran into her arms, glowing bright blue. "I was scared," she whispered. The mother held her close. "So was I." That night they stayed hidden in the cave. The firelight flickered on the wet stone. Outside, far away, red lights blinked through the forest and slowly disappeared into the dark. Ethan sat near the entrance, watching the stars through the trees. His body was tired, but his mind was sharp with worry. "They'll come back," he said quietly, "with bigger guns." "Yes," the mother replied. "They will never stop." Ethan looked at Luma sleeping between them. "Then we need a plan." The mother nodded. Her silver eyes glowed like twin moons. "We must make a place they cannot find." Ethan nodded slowly. "A home that can't be seen." "Yes," she said. "A home between worlds." They sat together in silence, the human, the child of stars, and the mother from another sky. For now, they had survived. But the war between two worlds had just begun. Morning sunlight painted the mountains in soft gold. The storm of the night before was gone. The forest stood quiet, cold mist curling around the trees. Inside the cave, Luma stirred awake. Her small hands glowed pale blue as she rubbed her eyes. She blinked at the soft light coming through the cracks in the rocks. Ethan sat near the mouth of the cave, sipping cold coffee from a metal mug. His clothes were muddy and torn, but his eyes were alive again. The alien mother stood outside, silent and still like a silver statue. Wind moved through her hair like threads of light. Her wounds from the battle were already fading, glowing silver where the skin had cracked. For a long moment, they said nothing. Only the sound of birds returning to the forest. Luma sat beside Ethan and leaned her head on his arm. "We can't keep running," she said softly. "I know," he said. The mother turned to face them. "The humans will return. They will come with stronger machines. They will not stop hunting me." "And they'll take Luma if they can," Ethan said. "Yes," the mother replied. The cave went quiet. Even the birds stopped singing for a moment. Then Ethan stood and brushed off his coat. His voice was firm now. "Then we build something they can't find." The mother raised her glowing eyes. "A home that cannot be seen?" "Yes," he said, "a place hidden from both worlds, but strong enough to protect her." The mother watched him carefully. "You would build this for her?" "For her," Ethan said, "and for you, if you want it." Something changed in her face then, just for a second. The cold, sharp edge in her eyes softened, like sunlight melting frost. She nodded once. "Then we will build it together." For weeks they worked in secret. The mother used her starlight powers to bend metal like clay. She lifted great stones into the air and shaped them into curved walls. She sang low, wordless songs that made the stones hum softly, as if alive. Ethan carried wood, built beams, cut paths through the forest. He hid every trail, erased every footprint. He found old solar panels and rebuilt them, wiring them into the walls. Luma planted glowing seeds from her home planet in the soft moss. They sprouted tall crystal flowers that shimmered at night like tiny moons. Day by day, the hidden place grew. They built it deep beneath the roots of an ancient mountain tree. The walls curved like shells, smooth and bright. A river ran quietly beside it, feeding small pools that glowed with faint blue light. From above, the forest floor looked untouched, only leaves, moss, and birdsong. No human eye could see the door. Inside, warm light glowed gently. It smelled of pine and starlight. Luma danced across the smooth silver floor, her laughter echoing through the halls. Ethan leaned against the wall, watching her, a soft smile on his face. "She's happy," he said. "For now," the mother said, but her voice was gentle now, almost warm. That night they all sat outside on the high ridge. The stars were sharp and cold above them. The world felt quiet again, but different. Ethan sat on one side of the fire. The mother sat on the other. Luma lay between them, staring at the stars. She used to look at the sky every night, Ethan said, like she was listening. She was, the mother said. We call it the whisper. The stars sing to us when we are far from home. Hey, sing to her still? He asked. The mother looked down at her daughter's glowing face. They do, but now, she also listens to you. Ethan felt something move in his chest, like a knot loosening. After a while, Luma sat up. Her eyes were full of starlight. I want to stay, she said. With you, both of you. Ethan met the mother's gaze. For once, she did not look like a cold goddess from the sky. She looked almost human, quiet, uncertain, afraid of breaking something fragile. She can have both, Ethan said softly. 2 worlds, 2 homes. The mother watched him for a long moment. Then she gave a slow nod. Yes, she said, 2 homes. They stayed by the fire until the stars began to fade. Luma fell asleep in Ethan's arms. The mother stood and raised her hands to the sky. A thin, silver thread of light rose from her palms, twisting higher and higher until it vanished among the stars. What's that? Ethan whispered. A warning, she said, to my kind. This place is protected. It belongs to her now. Weeks passed. The forest slowly healed. The soldiers never came back. Drones stopped appearing. Rumors faded into silence. The hidden home stayed secret, glowing quietly under the roots of the mountain tree. Some nights Ethan worked on the roof while Luma painted stars on the walls. The mother came and went like moonlight, bringing strange fruits from the sky. They were a strange family, but they were a family, and for the first time since Luma had fallen from the stars, she was not lost anymore. One night, as Ethan tucked Luma into her glowing bed, she whispered, Do you think more of my kind will come? Ethan paused. He glanced at the mother standing in the doorway, her silver eyes watching the stars. Yes, the mother said. One day, they will come. Luma smiled sleepily. Then we will be ready. Ethan kissed her forehead. Yes, he said softly. We will. And far above the silent forest, high beyond the clouds, something vast and dark moved between the stars. Watching, waiting.